It's a great win by our guys on Saturday night. Was really proud of our effort and ability to win a tough game on the road, and excited about the opportunities ahead for us this week.
Coach, you've talked a lot about how hard this team plays in every single game and how much effort they give. When you look at that, how much does, when the team's playing that hard, maybe cover up some of the deficiencies that you're having, and how much is that also, is that coaching, or is that just the players doing that?
I think that's the goal, is to try and cover up some of your mistakes through relentless effort. I think our guys have done a great job of that. I think that's something that takes time to establish in a program, that's how you play the game, with that type of effort and energy on a consistent nightly basis, also on a daily basis in practice. I feel pretty confident that we have that in our program now. And I think that allows you to continue to get better as a team. If you don't have the relentless effort, if you're not a true team, you have no chance, regardless of how much talent you have. So we have a lot of improving to do. Still a lot of season left. But because of the attitude and effort of our players, I think we have an opportunity to continue to get better.
On Thursday night, Devin Gilmore, your leading scorer, seemed to pick apart a little bit of Belmont's defense there in the second half. And then on Saturday, he's got to play 20 minutes because Anthony, and it seemed like every big got a foul. What did you see out of him this past week, and did he take another step in his development?
I think he's been pretty consistent in league play. When you look at his production, he obviously had the monster game against TSU at home with the double-double, but I thought he scored the ball really well on Thursday. Saturday night, had a couple really nice finishes around the goal, but was really huge on the defensive glass, had 7 defensive rebounds. That was one of the things we showed a lot of improvement on this past weekend. After the previous weekend at home against SIU and EIU, we were awful on the defensive glass. We were much better there this past weekend, and I thought he was a big part of that.
You said you still needed a lot of improvement. Where do you think you need to get?
Well, I mean, you've watched the games. I mean, this weekend we kicked the ball all over Nashville. I mean, bottom line, 38 times we didn't even get a shot off because of whether it was poor decision making or poor coaching. We turned the ball over way too much. So I think that's the number one thing you look at. And then I think just overall, I mean, like, I'm sure every team in the league saying the same thing. Different things they want to clean up defensively, offensively, special teams. I think you have to continue to stay focused on getting better as you get into February and March, because obviously teams are scouting. They've seen you play 20-plus times now. You have to be really good to win games in February and March.
It may seem like a silly question, but would you rather a team get off a poor shot or a turnover and maybe try to work through the defensive scheme?
I'd say that's accurate. Just a silly question. Neither are good.
Yeah.
Neither are good.
Equally bad.
Yeah, both stink. At least when you get a bad shot off, you have a chance to crash the offensive glass, though, in fairness to you, Ed.
Fair enough.
Talk about Austin Peay. I know they didn't have the week they wanted this past week, but they had a big week from Terry Taylor. Yeah. He presents some problems plus some new players.
Yeah, this weekend changes nothing about Austin Peay. Winning on the road's tough. Winning on the road against good teams is really difficult. They've got a great team. Terry Taylor is one of the best players, not just in our league, but in all of college basketball, period. His production speaks to that. He's done it for 3 years now. He presents a lot of problems because he can score it in so many ways. He's so good on the offensive glass. I think you look at the addition of Jordan Adams, the talented freshman from Texas, can really score the ball, can create his own shot. They run good offense to get him shots. They're the number 1 offensive and defensive rebounding team in our league, and then second in the league in forced turnovers. I believe number 1 in scoring efficiency offensively. So they're balanced, present problems at both ends of the court.
And they're good at home, still haven't lost there. That makes it a little different too, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, we talked about that going into this 3-game stretch. In my decade or so being here, I can't recall ever having 3 more difficult back-to-back road games in an 8-day period. Going into it, the 3 teams were combined 27-2 at home. So, we know that this will be, the game that the fans show up for there in Clarksville. It'll be a great atmosphere. We all know the history of the great rivalry. So it'll be a fun opportunity. It's one of those games, I think if, whether you're at Austin Peay or Murray State, as a kid, you grow up wanting to play in games like this in this kind of environment.
Slow starts have kind of been an issue the last 2 weeks for the team. How do you go about fixing that, and how you probably can't afford that Thursday night?
You just got to play better. I mean, it's the bottom line. We got to play better, especially early. We're minus 13 to start at Belmont, minus 9 to start at TSU. It has nothing to do with who started, who came off the bench. That run covered. Our top 9 players were in the game at different points in our rotation. So bottom line, we just got to play better. We got to get off to better starts, especially at the offensive end of the floor. Defense hadn't been bad. It's been more of the offensive issues, starting the games, not getting high quality shots, and turning the ball over too much. I mean, it's really that simple.
You guys had one of your best three-point defense efforts against Belmont, but gave up a little bit of something on the inside with the one-on-ones. How do you find that balance defensively, getting that help inside and also defending the three-point?
I think just continue to try and improve as a team. I thought we had a really good practice on Friday over at Vanderbilt, where we spent a lot of time addressing that. It's great that we defended the 3 well on Thursday, but we got away from some of our defensive principles, allowed too much one-on-one play. I thought our help defense, our team defense, was much better on Saturday night and was a big reason we were able to win the game. So just have to continue to keep getting better there.
From a simple standpoint, what are some of the ways in which your team works on getting rid of turnovers? I know the other team's trying to take the ball away, but in that concept, how do you limit moving forward in practice where the turnovers come from?
Ed, if I had the answer, we wouldn't be turning the ball over. It's the bottom line. I mean, we work on it every day. Simple fundamentals. We've really prided ourselves here for a long time on our player development program, and that runs season long, year round, trying to get better individually, make better decisions. As a coach, it's my responsibility to put our players in better positions to where we're not turning the ball over as much. So I think it falls on our coaching staff and in my hands as much as anyone. I'm very confident in our players. I don't want them sitting around thinking about every turnover. I want them to play with great confidence and belief in each other. So, I'm not going to overanalyze it. We all know it's an area we have to make improvement if we want to win games in February and March.
Speaking of player development, any thoughts on what Cam Payne, Isaiah Cannon, Shaq Buchanan, and then obviously Ja did over the weekend?
Well, it was an awesome weekend. How about those 24 hours? In the G League, Shaq goes for 36, Cam 43, Isaiah 23, which he's been doing every night since he got back in the U.S. And then, Ja's triple-double last night. Just really amazing to see the continued success players have coming from Murray State. And those are the ones you see on a nightly basis. They're guys over in Europe doing incredibly well. And, when you get into coaching, that's what it's all about. Obviously, I know we got to win games, and that's important. But you want these guys to be in position when they leave here to go into great situations and continue to have great success. And, really proud. I know our fans are really proud to see so many former racers doing well in the pros.
Will we get any closer to seeing guys like Chico or Coward come back?
We'll see how they are today, but, everything's the same status as last week at this moment.